Well, welcome back to Carolina Saltwater Living, y'all. I thought I would do something a little bit different and give prospective new business owners some advice, at least those that are looking to be in the excavation grading profession, working for themselves, self-employed. And the reason I showed washing the equipment has a little something to do with this video, and I'll get to that towards the end of the video. But I thought I would just give some tips. You know, here at Carolina Saltwater Living, we're not just fishing. We're not just running that new Bay Rider out there trolling or in the backwater looking for puppy drum or fishing out there on the surf, cooking. We show you our entire life here. That's why it's called Carolina Saltwater Living. Showing you our life, y'all, from Lisa making her handbags, self-employed, her custom handbags, to me running a grading business. But I thought I would give that person, that young person, that middle-aged person, I consider myself middle-aged, 47 here in a few more days, some advice. And I feel like I can give that advice because this is not the first business in this field that I have operated. Back in 1997, or it might have been 1996, I graduated from high school in 1996. My oldest brother and I, who is, what do you say, 7 or 8 years older than me, we decided that we were going to start a small construction business, dirt work business. Specifically installing septic systems, digging footings for houses, clearing lots, whatever we could do with some equipment to earn a living. So here's how we did that way back then. And we ran this business for, I believe it was 9 years. Right at 9 years that we did dirt work, septics, all sorts of stuff. Maintenance, pumping septic tanks, repairing them. We started out with the two of us, my brother working a full-time job, myself in school, local community college. We started out doing jobs after we had, well, let me back up. This was a long time ago. Money is not going to be the same today as it was back then due to inflation. We had our father co-sign for us, and we borrowed $25,000 from a bank that is no more. I believe it was called BB&T back then. But we had to have somebody co-sign because we really didn't have any credit established. I think my brother had some, but commercial credit. And here I am, 18 years old. I had no credit. So Dad co-signed for us to borrow $25,000. We went to a state auction and bought a 2-ton Ford dump truck that we had to rebuild and repaint ourselves. Bought a tech manual and put it in a friend of our shop who let us do the work in his garage, and tore that thing down and rebuilt it because it wouldn't run. New brakes, rebuilt on the motor, cylinders repacked, brakes rebuilt. I mean, it was a job. The only thing we bought new was a brand new equipment trailer. Someone had ordered it and fell through, so we got a pretty good deal on it. And we found an old dairy farmer that had bought an old backhoe, brand new, a Case backhoe, a 1979 model, I believe it was. And I think we paid about $8,000 for it. Granted, this was 1996 or 7. We used that $25,000 to get us up and running with one machine, one little dump truck, little 5-yard dump, stake truck, gas burner, and a brand new equipment trailer. We took that backhoe and we learned how to use it on our own. Both of us put about 50 hours on the machine down in the fields on the farm, our dad's place. Learned how to dig ditches, shoot grade, lay off septic systems, that sort of thing. Went and got our grade 2s, which is what it is here in North Carolina, or I don't know what it is now because I don't do septics anymore. And we started doing jobs for friends and family, and that grew from there. And within a year, y'all, were able to purchase a brand new skid steer, Case skid steer. Used to love Case equipment. It was the working man's construction equipment. I don't know that it is today, but it was then. You could afford it. Long story short, we started small, working for friends and family. Back then we had Yellow Page ads, so we took those out. That's how you got business, Yellow Page ads. And we went around to local builders and said, look, give us one job. If you don't like it, never hire us again. And we built a rapport that way by doing good work. We were trained by our dad. Y'all, we had an advantage. Our dad inspected at one point in his life septic systems and installed them. So he was able to help teach us that. So fast forwarding, sold that business. I went to work for a commercial grader. And I thought I knew how to grade until I went to work for a commercial grader. I didn't really know anything about grading. I could install septic systems, good at that. I knew how to do positive drainage. I mean, we did everything with a backhoe and a skid steer back then. I thought I knew something about grading until I went to work for a commercial grading outfit. I learned so much. I only worked for them for 6 months. But I learned so much. Learned how to read CAD drawings, learned how to run, what is it called, Trimble or Timble? I can't remember. The satellite deal. I learned how to run bulldozers and big excavators. In 6 months, I had experience running hydraulics equipment, so it came natural for me. So before long, I was running 30,000 pound machines, articulating dump trucks, D5 dozers, skid steers, Mini X's, the whole 9 yards. Mini X's were just getting popular. When we were installing septic systems, they were just coming out for the small business owner. I mean, I think Bobcat might have had one of the first, at least in our area, one of the first ones. And we demoed it, couldn't stand the thing. It was, you couldn't pull it. You couldn't pull a greasy string out of, well, I don't think I should use that term. It was weak. It was terrible. I think it was a 337. I can't remember, but we were like, we are not spending that kind of money on this thing. It's too slow. Our old backhoe was stronger. Anyways, if we'd have been forward thinking, we'd have gone ahead and jumped on board then, because y'all, it ended up being quicker in the long run. But fast forward many years, different career, went into public service for 15 years, always wanted to be back doing dirt work. I loved it. And the Lord provided that opportunity through COVID, having to leave the profession and falling back on what I knew. So let's start with number one. Let's say you are young, middle-aged, it don't matter, and you can't stand the job that you're in. And you've got a little bit of experience running equipment, maybe on a farm growing up, on the weekend for somebody you've helped out. My advice to you is, if you are not able to cash flow purchasing a couple pieces of equipment, one piece of equipment, go to work for a commercial grader for 6 months. You hate the job that you're in, find a job with a commercial outfit, go to work for them, learn some skill set. Make sure it's really what you want to do. Not saying you're going to be a commercial grader. I don't do commercial grading now. None of that. My operation revolves around homeowners and landowners. I no longer work for general contractors. Don't do that anymore. I work for individuals. And that's just the method that I have chosen, because I used to wait 30, 60 days to get paid when I was working for large corporations or contracting outfits. And that'll break you if you don't have money in the bank. So I work for individuals now. I have no desire to do commercial work anymore, ever in my life. I just don't have that desire. So first off and foremost, you think you want to do it because you hate the job that you're in, you want to be self-employed, go to work for somebody else for 6 months minimum. See if that's really what you want to do, y'all, because when you start a business, if you have, think about it, if you have a wife, I'm talking to men here, y'all, because that's generally the norm in this industry. Let's say you have a wife. Maybe you have a child or two. Maybe you have a mortgage. Unless your wife is making some serious bank, do not expect to have a thriving business from day one. It's going to take time. I look at the business that I'm in right now. Got into it out of necessity once again. Had to leave my former profession due to complications with the COVID. Had to work for myself, work on my own terms. Already had the skill set. That wasn't a problem. Just had to buy some equipment. I bought one piece of equipment. I already had a tractor because we used it on the old homestead. And I knew that I could put that tractor into practice grading roads, moving a little bit of dirt here and there where I needed to, bush hogging, what have you. I could do stuff with it to make a little bit of money. I wanted an excavator because I looked at the different equipment out there. Do I want to be a forestry mulcher and go buy $100,000+ in a new skid steer high flow with forestry stuff? Do I want to do that? Quite a people do it. Quite a lot of people were doing it in my area. So it's obvious that they were making money, but they were also going an hour plus away to do their work a lot of times. And that was a big investment just to forestry mulch and run a skid steer, doing small grading jobs around backfilling houses, putting in driveways. And I'm talking no excavation really required, just topsoil off, maybe a ditch or two here and there, and laying stone down. Or did I want to go with an excavator that I could do a lot of different things with, slower on some jobs that you normally might have a skid steer to do it with, or a track loader, mini track loader. I went with a Mini X because my background, I knew that I could do so much more with it. It may take a little bit longer on some jobs to move dirt here and there and everywhere, but you can still do it. Anyways, decide what you want to do. Go to work for somebody for about 6 months. As much as you hate the sound of that, go do it to make sure it's really what you want to do, and learn some good skills in 6 months if you don't really have a whole lot of experience grading. The worst thing you can do is go out here and sign your name on the dotted line and borrow $70, $80, $100,000 worth of money to buy equipment, and you don't have any real world experience. You're potentially going to fall flat on your face. I don't care how good your marketing is. If you can't run the machine and run grade and follow a laser or GPS or have the knowledge, you're going to fall flat on your face. I don't care how good your stuff looks going down the road. Watch some of these videos of people who never run equipment, and they get them, they've got plenty of money, and they buy them a $70,000 skid steer, and it looks like, we used some expressions way back when. Think about a monkey trying to grab a wet bar of soap. That's pretty much what it looks like. It's terrible. You're going to have to get some time on equipment to know what you're doing before you can go out here and charge for it. And don't think that you can go out here and just undercut everybody and make a living. Especially if you just borrowed $100,000 to buy some nice equipment, pull it down the road with whatever you got, and go do work cheap. You're going to be out of business really quick. Kind of look at your market while you're working for somebody else, doing commercial work, depending on what type of work you want to do, commercial, residential, what have you. Find out what the going rates are from people that are established, and you're going to have to do that by asking around. I would not probably call them. I wouldn't call them and say, how much you charge for this? I mean, come on. Maybe if you know some people in it, say, look, I'm looking to get in it too. Can you help me out? If you've got friends in the business. But y'all, I'm going to be honest, I don't tell what my fees are here on YouTube. And when somebody sends me a text message from my Google ad or whatever and says, hey, how much for this? Nah, I come and look at the job. That's a tip for you. Go look at the job. Put boots on the ground. That's your first step to getting the job. Boots on the ground. Look at it. Decide how much money you've got to make based on what is happening in your market. and your experience level, I'll go ahead and tell you I'm not the cheapest around. I am not the cheapest around. And I tell folks that when I go out. I have a multitude of years in experience running equipment, and I charge for it. I have newer equipment. I charge for it. I have insurance. I charge for it. I charge to haul out. I don't even load up a piece of equipment without a haul fee. You can't do it either because it's going to cost you per mile just to haul that, y'all. When a tire blows, like mine blew the other day, you got to repair that. You've got to be thinking ahead, not just a quick dollar. People want cheap, sure, but there's enough people out here that want quality and will pay for experience that you don't have to do work dirt cheap and end up out of business with a machine that's wore slap out you can't get rid of. All right, let me reel this thing back in. Step number one, go to work for somebody. 6 months minimum. Decide if it's what you want to do. Learn some skill set. You may love it. If you have family that's dependent on you, if you're single with, you're living in mom and daddy's rental house, you really don't have a whole lot that you got to worry about. You probably don't have a lot of credit either, so you may need somebody to help you co-sign. Buying used or new equipment. Started off, like I told you, buying used stuff because that's what we could afford. You may have to do that, but I'm going to tell you that used equipment got repainted, fixed up. It looked like $100 million going down the road. I don't care if it was old. I don't care if it had a bunch of work done to it. It had new paint on it, and we kept that stuff washed. And I showed you washing all that equipment. I do that after every single job. When I am done, I clean up the equipment and keep it greased. I want it to look good going down the road. When I go price jobs, I want my truck to look good. I usually drive that little yellow one. I want it to look good. I want folks to see that I am neat and tidy, that my equipment is well maintained, and that they can expect a quality job from me. Based off perception, y'all. Perception is one of the main rules in this business. If I go out and I look like, I had long hair and was burly when I first got down here to the coast, and that's I'm starting over, y'all. Had 2 years in working in the Piedmont and was starting to build more and more work. Then we moved for health purposes. Started all over, but I will say the Lord has blessed me. I've had more work here and have received that work quicker than I ever did in the Piedmont. But my equipment looks good going down the road. People see I do quality work. I post pictures like crazy to my Google Ads. Used to be Yellow Pages, now it's Google Ads. That's what I do. I pay for, it's an auction site to get leads. People to call you, look for you. You're on the map, Van Graden right here. I try to work in close proximity to home because I don't like hauling far off, because that's my bottom line. If I had been an hour away with that tire blew, I'd have been out on the side of the road fixing it. Fortunately, I was here at my house. If I've been 10 minutes away, it's a whole lot easier knowing that, I can fix this thing and in 10 minutes I'm home. Go to work for somebody, that's number one. Decide if you're going to buy new or used. If your situation allows you to buy new and you don't have any work out there, you just got a concept of what's going to happen. You ain't lined up any work. How can you line up any work if you don't have equipment? And some people will say, just go rent equipment. About like renting a house. You never got ownership in it. You can't depreciate it. That's my take on it. And that's from years of doing this, y'all. With an accountant. You need an accountant. Don't think you can do this on your own. You need an accountant that has experience in helping folks do their taxes that are in this field. Don't just go to H&R Block at the end of the year and expect them to know how to do everything. You need an accountant. You need to, if you're turning lots of work, I'll put it this way. Once I hit a certain amount of revenue for the year, I'm pricing jobs to where I really make some good money that I price them all fair. I'll start that way. But if I hit a certain threshold, I'm not trying to grow my business to be really big. I'm 47 years old with some health issues. I'm living at the coast trying to live small, me and Lisa. I would like to maybe add another piece of equipment to my fleet as time goes on, but I'm not looking to try to grow and grow and grow and add employees. And no, I don't want that headache. I don't want that headache. I'm just trying to make an honest living and survive and thrive. But when I hit a certain point, it's time to slow down a little bit, go fishing a little bit more. Because the more you make, the more taxes you pay. The more you have to buy to recoup that loss, to depreciate, to avoid taxes. You need a good accountant. That's a good tip for you. Keep your equipment clean. It needs to look sharp going down the road. Let's see, what else? What else comes to mind of somebody that's actually done this for a number of years, in and out of the business? Don't act like you know something you don't know. If you get a call about, let's say you've got a Mini like me, and that's all you've got, dump trailer and a Mini, or just a Mini, and you have never done a retaining wall. That's landscaping. Actually, it's not. Some people will say that's hardscape. I would rather have a mason come out and do something like that. You should know how to grade for it, but don't go out and bid a job that you don't know anything about how to do and then try to tackle it. You're opening yourself up to lots of liability. People will sue you if you don't do the job right. Figure out what you got to charge accordingly so that you can make money, pay for repairs, pay your taxes, and live. Don't rip people off. Don't undercut other people that are out here that have been doing this for years. Find that happy medium. And as time goes on and you get more and more experience, charge for that experience. But be reasonable with people. Hopefully this has been beneficial to you. I hope that it helps a little bit. You may not have wanted to hear how to start a new business, go work for somebody else. But it's honestly the truth. Yes, when I was 18, I started out. It was a little different story. Maybe you're 18 years old and you got a daddy to co-sign for you too. And it don't matter if you make a bunch of money as long as you can make enough to pay the payments and taxes. And you want to do that for a few years, because I did that for a year before buying more equipment, moving out on my own, that sort of thing. It takes money to make money, y'all. It takes skill to keep a business going. It takes using the right accountant to make sure that they know what they're doing to help you, tell you when you need to spend some money, what estimated taxes you may need to pay, that sort of thing. Because trust me, everything's against you except for your determination, your work ethic, your skill set. Hopefully that helps. I got to fix the tire. I'm waiting on a new tire and a new wheel to show up to fix my equipment trailer so I can be on the road come Monday. It's Friday now. No, it's Saturday morning. To be on the road to head about 30 minutes, which is about 20 minutes further than I care to go, but I'm thankful for the work. If you have any questions, drop a comment. I am not an expert by any means, but I've got more knowledge than a lot of folks that are trying to say, do this, do that. They got no clue. You see the stuff I run. I've got new equipment. I got old trucks. Y'all have a good day and a great week. Lord willing, the creek don't rise too high. We'll see you on the next one.